Hello and welcome to next Selenium tutorial. So today we are going to see how we can implement our implicitly wait and why we need implicitly wait in Selenium WebDriver. Right? So let's understand why we need implicit wait. So if you take any web application, so all the elements whatever it is there visible to your end user, all the UI elements, so will not load at the same time, right? So say for example, if you have in your web page you have drop down or button, image, links, all your input tags, image tags, everything, or like different web elements in any web application, right? So all the web elements are not same, and it is not loading the same time, and the loading time also will vary in each and every application, right? So it appears based on your network speed and your system configuration, and more or less it is going to be finally the browser's capacity also it covers, right? So and then if you take, right, the synchronization between your script and the browser will vary. So the speed that your script running, and this will not match with your web application because of these different web elements and the loading time, right? So that is also will come into picture for implicitly wait. So if there is any element which is not loading, and before to that only you are trying to interact with that particular web element, then we will get two exception. So the first exception will be no such element exception. The second one will be element not visible exception. So mostly we will get no such element exception only. So element not visible exception will not appear frequently. So there is a difference. So no such element exception will appear if the element is not there in DOM itself. So element not visible exception will appear when the element is present in DOM, but it is not able to interact or it is not visible to your Selenium script. Then in that case, we'll get this element not visible exception, right? So these are the two different exceptions that we will get when you are trying to run your scripts. If there is no synchronization between your script and your web browser, right? So this is where our implicitly wait come into picture. So we have to use implicitly wait, and let's see what is implicitly wait, right? So implicitly wait is, you can clearly see that, right? It is not implicit wait, it's implicitly wait. So we have to just be careful on spelling as well. So it is a global wait. What exactly it is a global wait is, right? If you are trying to create any browser driver instance, so say for example WebDriver driver is equal to new Chrome driver you are initializing. So then this, you are initializing your timeout as well. Say for example, in your script if you are initializing like this, so this driver will take that timeout across all the elements until this will be closed, right? So we'll see when implementing what is this global wait. So which global wait means it is across the driver. Once you initiated, and if you are assigning the some timeout, then the timeout will be appearing for all the elements across the driver, right? Each element, if you have 1,000 elements, so 1,000, all 1,000 elements will be applied to this implicitly wait, right? It's a one-time declaration, or you can define multiple times also, but it's better to define one time based on your application speed and other factors that web element loading, right? So this is the first factor that we should understand in implicitly wait, right? It's a global wait. And second thing is, it's a dynamic wait. It's not like if you are defining some 10 seconds or 20 seconds for one time, it doesn't mean that each element will take 10 times. It's not like that. So the moment it appears the web element and Selenium is finding your web element, it directly start interacting with that web element. It will navigate to your next element. So say for example, if it found the web element in one second, and you have defined the 10-second implicitly wait, then it will move on to next element in the after that 1 seconds. So what happens in that case for the remaining 9 seconds, which means all those 9 seconds will be elapsed, right? Those nine seconds will be ignored, right? So that is why it is called as dynamic wait. So how it happens, right? So say for example, this implicitly wait will start waiting only when if the particular web element you are trying to find is not appearing, then only it will start waiting for that implicitly wait. Otherwise it will start keep move on to the next element, right? So what will happen in that case if the sum of the elements is not appearing, and it's a certain WebDriver is trying to find, so how exactly this dynamic will happen? So what will happen, right? So this Selenium WebDriver starts polling to your DOM element. So this appears, there is no constant wait actually, there is no defined uh, upon how much interval it start polling to DOM interval. Some say it is the 250 milliseconds, some say it is 500 milliseconds. There is no source of truth for this, but we should have that understanding that it will start polling until it finds that web element until your given wait time, right? So that is what this web element holds the DOM for a certain duration when trying to find any element if they are not immediately available. The moment the page loads, if it's not immediately available, then WebDriver starts polling to the DOM until it finds the web element during your interval that implicitly wait you have given, right? So the next one will be like it's a default weight is 0. So if you have not defined, the implicit weight will take as a 0. It will not consider your implicitly weight. If you have given any time, then it will take consider that, right? So otherwise it is a default weight is 0. It's kind of a null, right? So driver will wait until given time before throwing no such element exception. So before throwing, so in the previous slide, right, we have seen two different exception, that is no such element exception. So before throwing this no such element exception, it will wait until the time we have given in the implicitly wait, right? So these are the different points in implicitly wait. So do remember that these points. So implicitly wait is a global wait. It's applied across the all elements for the particular driver you have defined. Second thing is a dynamic wait, which means Selenium will poll to your DOM until your that particular web element is available, until that given time is before throwing the exception. Right? The default wait is 0. So these are the different points you should consider and remember when you are implementing your framework. Right? And let's see how we can implement this, right? So Selenium WebDriver provides so this manage interface. In that we will see timeouts interface. In that, this is that syntax implicitly wait, we can give the how many seconds we can give, and using your time unit, whether it's a milliseconds or seconds or hours, days, weeks, we can give over here, right? So we are going to see how we can implement this. And finally what we are going to see, so if you are not giving implicitly wait, how it happens, and if you are giving implicitly wait, how it happens using our timeout. We are going to take our local time with milliseconds, how it is waiting, the time interval, how it takes, everything we are going to clearly see that, right? It's not only Selenium, we are going to mix with Java and we are going to see time intervals, right? So let's get started. So let example, let us take this facebook.com and let us implement that. And I'm going to take driver is equal to, let us take Chrome driver. So driver dot get, so what is the URL we are going to give? It's a facebook.com. So initially what we are going to do, right? So let's not give our implicitly wait. Before that, let's maximize driver dot manage window maximize. Let us maximize, right? So here let us take this these two and this login button, and then let us try. So driver dot find element by xpath. What is the xpath? So right click on this. So I have installed a selectors hub. So using this we can copy related xpath. So it's a good tool actually, we can give it a try. You can see, right, it is giving, we don't have to open any dev tools and everything. You can directly use right click and take the xpath. It is giving the related xpath. I want to send keys using this. I'm going to give my name, first name as Nandis. right? The similar way I'm going to give last name as well, password as well. So email and password, right? Let us take this XPath using selector sub. I'm going to copy relative XPath. So this is going to be my last name, right? So first field will be input email. It will enter on this and Chintan, right? And I'm trying to click on this login button. This is the XPath. I'm going to click and fill this and click dot click, right? So finally driver will be closed, right? So now what I have done, so everything is valid values only. So it is not going to throw any exception because this is simple web page Facebook. So what it will do, initially enter the name and password and click on the login button, right? So let's try running. It will work perfectly fine. So by default, Selenium waits for page loading. So it has in give get method itself. So it maximizes. You can see. So there is no exception occurs, right? So what we are going to do now, right? So let us try giving invalid values for this particular web element, right? So what will happen? It will throw no such element exception, but note down. So it will immediately throw that exception, right? So it never waited and it will immediately giving you no such element exception, right? So if we have doubt what will happen, so let us give this timeout. So I'm going to take the help from Java. I'm going to give this timeout. So what this will do, it will take the local time and it will print the what is the local time with milliseconds, right? So between each element, let us give this what it is going to do, right? So this is to make sure how long does it take between the elements before and after giving the implicitly wait. So for that purpose only I just made this video, right? So what will happen, initially it will take the current time and it will send the keys with numbers, and then it will take the time immediately. After that it will enter this. So we'll correctly calculate how long does it take time to wait or not wait. So that time we are going to take it, and finally what in the here we will give exactly how long does it take that time, right? So note down, we have not given implicitly wait till now. Let us see the time it takes, because we have given one invalid XPath. That's all. It got over the time, right? Before entering, let's note down the time. This is before implicit wait, right? So what happens for first time, for sending keys with email, this is the time, and after that this is the time to invalid XPath, right? So here also it gave the XPath. After that, how long does it wait, right? So now what we will do, we'll give implicitly wait. So to give implicitly wait, you can give right after your driver instantiation. So you can give over here. So how we can give, driver dot, you can take manage interface, and dot, in that we can take timeouts interface. So in timeouts itself we will see implicitly wait, implicitly wait. So I'm going to give default 10 seconds, and then time unit will be, so here we can see, right, days, hours, milliseconds, microseconds, minutes, nanoseconds, seconds. Yeah. So you can give any values. Mostly we will not give days, hours, right? Mostly we can give microseconds, milliseconds, even minutes also we might not be giving. only in these microseconds, milliseconds, or nanoseconds, or seconds mostly we will be giving, right? So if you're going for minutes or hours, it will be like mostly exceptional cases you might be giving. So I'm going to take seconds. So yeah, I'm going to take 10 seconds. So this is the syntax for implicitly wait. So you have to take from manage timeouts implicitly wait. So here is the timeout you have to give. This is a long actually in Java data type. It's a long data type and it's a time unit data type, right? So two arguments it takes. The first one will be how long you have to wait. What is that? How long you have to wait? The time, whether it's a seconds, microseconds, or minutes or hours. You should specify it, right? So this is the different types that two arguments it takes with implicitly wait, right? So let's try now. So initially we have given with the timeouts that we have got within like this hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. Now let us try now. So now we have given 10 seconds. Let us see whether it waits for 10 seconds or not before throwing null pointer exception. Sorry, no such element exception. Let's note down over here. Let's see the console, right? So it first time it has printed this one, and this printed h again. Now it is waiting for this x path to be found, right? And then after 10 seconds it is throwing the error, right? So this is going to be after implicitly wait. Now we should take this time to calculate how long it does wait. You can see clearly see, right? So here we have not given any implicitly wait, right? So it immediately thrown the no such element exception. Then you can see that seconds are 43 seconds, right? So for within 43 seconds itself, with millisecond difference, it is throwing the no such element exception. But after giving your implicitly wait, what happened? You can clearly see, right? So we have given wait time as 10 seconds, right? So after 10 seconds only, we are getting this no such element exception, right? With this x path not found, right? So you can clearly see that it's a 48 seconds and here a 58 seconds. So this is the 10 seconds difference with implicitly wait, right? So if you want to reduce the time, you can reduce over here as well, and you can check that, right? You can see like this is the one of the major advantage that we can clearly see that implicitly wait. So if it is found, it will immediately go to other web elements. If it is not found, it will wait until the maximum time given to find out that particular x path, right? So those are the different that advantage that go over implicitly wait. You can get it, right? So this is going to be a 5 milliseconds. Let us see, right? So you can see here, right? So it from 29 to 34, it's exactly 5 seconds, right? So 5 seconds is waited and it is throwing the no such element exception, right? So this is how it actually implicit wait will work, right? So let us see some of the points that initially what we have seen, this one. So what does mean by exactly this global wait? Global wait in the sense, so here you have instantiated the driver and you have given this particular driver will carry 5 seconds across all the web elements, so until it going to close or quit or terminate. So whatever this driver this Chrome driver is going to handle of web elements in your web application, so all web elements will be applied with 5 seconds, and it is going to be a dynamic wait. It's not going to be a static wait, right? So like how we have seen clearly see over here, right? If driver found the element, means which immediately navigate to other element. If it's not found, then whatever the maximum timeout you have given, it will wait until that particular amount of time, and then it will throw no such element exception. So that is what your dynamic wait meaning over here. What will happen until that particular maximum time that we have given? So right here we have given 5 seconds. So what will happen if it is not found in this particular case? pass on this password XPath, it couldn't found. What will happen, right? So WebDriver pulls the DOM. So it keeps on pulling to your DOM web pages, all the elements, whether it's found or not, it's already loaded or not loaded or not. Once it is loaded, it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. Then it will throw no such element exception. So that is what it is going to do until that maximum time reaches. Yes, that's why it is called as web dynamic wait, right? And the default wait is 0. So why it is default wait is 0, right? So here, this is before implicit wait. What we have seen is this is the default wait. So it will not wait for anything. So immediately it will go to other elements. So that's why it is default wait is 0. So initially you have defined this web element with 5 seconds. So after these particular three elements, I don't want that 5 seconds. I don't want to implicit wait. Then you can define it as 0. So here after what will happen, it will take default timeout 0 seconds. Hereafter implicit wait will not be applied, right? Now it is like balanced, right? So like this you can make it. That's why the default wait is 0. So if you don't want after some particular time particular web element or test cases to be executed, so from that test case onwards, you can define the particular driver can carry 0 implicit wait. Right. So this is very important point actually when we are going to use explicit wait, right? So in the next video we are going to discuss that explicit wait. So until just remember that the implicit wait and explicit we cannot mix it. So if you are using explicit, we have to make it as null. That's the default wait, right? So driver will wait until given time before throwing no such element exception, right? So here it is clearly visible, right? So it waited for 5 seconds, the timeout we have given over here, and then after completing these 5 seconds only, it was throwing no such element exception, right? So these are the important points that we should note down during your implicitly wait when you are designing your framework for your any web application. So this is going to be a huge impact actually. So if you are running some thousand test cases with 1 lakh locators with XPath or something else, in that your 100 or 1000 locators are not found, which means 1000 into 10 seconds, right? 10,000 seconds it is going to impact. It takes a huge time. So that's why we have to be very careful when you are going to implement your implicit wait, right? So you have to analyze your web application, exactly how long does it take to load each element, what is the maximum time it takes. So we analyze all these things, particularly when it comes to your JavaScript and your Ajax calls, or these are the factors that you should consider, and you have to define the implicit wait across your framework, right? So that's all from this video, guys. So if you love watching my video, please like my video. If you found this video use helpful for you, please comment your thoughts, and if you have any doubts or clarification, please leave it in the comments, right? So in the next video we are going to see how explicit wait will work in the same manner. Until so, thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to my channel.